An incentive payout may look like a single number in a spreadsheet. But that number is the result of a much longer process. Before it can be paid, someone needs to know which rules applied, who was eligible, which performance data was used, what changed during review, who approved the result, and whether the amount is still outstanding or has actually been settled. That is the incentive compensation workflow. The process starts with the plan rules. The relevant plan, components and effective dates determine which logic applies for a given period. Eligibility then determines which participants should be included. If those two steps are unclear, every calculation downstream becomes harder to verify. Next comes performance data. For each participant, the source and period should be clear enough that the result can be traced back to the intended input. That may include CRM data, billing information or an approved file import, depending on the company's process. The important question is not simply whether data exists. It is whether the right data has been connected to the right participant and plan. Only then can the applicable calculation logic produce a result. This is where many spreadsheet processes appear to finish. But a calculated amount is not automatically approved, accrued or paid. Exceptions, splits, rejected entries, corrections and overrides may still need to be reviewed. Those decisions should be visible alongside the result rather than silently replacing its history. During review, someone is still checking the data, eligibility, calculation or an exception. Approval means the responsible approver has accepted the result. These are different operating states. Treating them as the same makes it difficult for finance, HR, managers and employees to know which amount they can rely on. An approved amount may then become accrued, but not yet paid. This means the approved obligation is outstanding while the downstream payment process has not yet settled it. Paid means that settlement has taken place. Keeping these states separate creates a clear answer to a simple question. What has been calculated, what has been accepted, what remains outstanding and what has actually been paid. The final control is reconciliation. Can a settled amount be traced back to what was approved and outstanding? Can the approved result be traced back through review, calculation, performance data, eligibility and the applicable plan rules? If the answer depends on separate spreadsheets, approval messages or one person's memory, the process is difficult to govern and explain. Bentega supports this incentive compensation workflow around plan rules, calculations, review, approvals, adjustments and payout visibility. It helps teams maintain a clear path from the rules behind an incentive to the amount prepared for downstream payment. If you want to assess your current process, run Bentega's ICM readiness checklist at bentega.io.